Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our July 3rd. Today's the 2nd, but we do have a super full moon coming up first thing tomorrow morning on the 3rd for those of us that are on the East Coast. It's somewhere around like 7:30 a.m., somewhere around there that it's going to be at its brightest in the sky. So here we are for another full moon reading, and we'll close with a meditation at the end. And this is a powerful full moon. Like I said, it's a super full moon, which means that it is closest to Earth, sometimes referred to as the buck moon, because it's the time of the year that male deer shed their antlers. Now, why do they shed their antlers? Well, it's because mating season is over and they no longer need that testosterone. So now it's time to kind of let go of all of that intense masculine energy and shift into a new space. So, but it does represent the masculine energy. So there's a real key piece to this, especially when we consider that the full moon is in Capricorn. It's also sometimes called the hay moon because it's the time in which hay is harvested in July. Now, here's the other cool thing about the shedding of the antlers. When the male deer shed their antlers, the antlers are left behind in the woods, in the forest, for other animals to consume. And deer antler is full of calcium. And so we're going to go through the elements, the symbolic elements of this full moon, but a big part of it is abundance and also giving and receiving. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. And I just want to pull up a couple notes that I took because I think this is going to be a powerful one because I feel like the energy of the Capricorn, because it's such an earthbound energy, it often feels like, and frankly, probably is not as connected to the energy of the divine as maybe some of the other signs. The earth energy and the earth signs are all about getting rooted in what's beneath us. So it is all about matter. And so I think sometimes that feels like there's a disconnect from the upper realm. But if we consider that our path here as a human being, every aspect of it is the spiritual path. Every aspect of what we encounter in life, of what we experience, the wounds and the suffering of the mind, the suffering that the mind creates, our job is to really figure out how to integrate all of that. And I've said it a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more. We are the spiritual beings living a human experience, right? Like that's a phrase a lot of people have heard. And I don't know if it was Dyer's quote, like who originally said that, but very poignant piece. That in and of itself is a spiritual experience. Learning how to be a human being, the casing of the human being with the spiritual soul living inside, learning how to blend those two is part of the spiritual path of what it means to actually be here. So despite the fact that earthly energy might not feel divine because it's not connected necessarily or explicitly to the higher realm, doesn't mean that it's not a spiritual endeavor. So the energy of the Capricorn is all about the perseverance, the long-term plan, being steadfast, kind of slow and steady, steady and slow wins the race. And it's about being able to look ahead. It's about thinking about what your legacy is going to be, what you want your legacy to be. When your physical existence ceases, what do you want your legacy to be? And patience is what is going to get you there because it's all about being methodical and not racing to the finish line, but embracing the 3 or the 5 year plan. I'm famous for those. I love 3 and 5 year plans because it gives you the time that you need to really cultivate something magical. And so ask yourself, where do I want to be in 3 years? Where do I want to be in 5 years? When that time comes and I look back on the last 3 or 5 years, what do I want to say that I accomplished? Because this energy really is all about the masculine. It's all about goals, action, and forward movement. It's not about cultivating the emotional space right now or cultivating the emotional intelligence of a relationship. In fact, if a friend calls you and needs a shoulder to cry on or needs an ear to listen, depending on how much energy you're feeling relative to what we're talking about, if you're really kind of in this full moon in Capricorn space, might not actually be the time to lend that type of support to somebody else. because we're going to feel a little disconnected from emotions right now. When we're in matter and when we are in the mind, we're not necessarily in the sea of emotions. Now, I don't want to get too technical about it because I actually consider the mind and emotional experiences really the same thing. But this is going to be more about doing as opposed to feeling. So just keep that in mind. The other thing to consider is that this is the energy of abundance. And so the only way that we draw in more abundance is if we step into the energy of abundance. And how do we do that? Well, we have to pause and look around and ask ourselves, what are we grateful for that we already have access to right now? What do we already have that we might be overlooking that makes us abundant in whatever way, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, financially? What are we already experiencing in the form of abundance that we can embrace, integrate, and get closer to so we can draw in more of that energy? Don't forget, too, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the disciplinarian, the father, the authority, the structure, the system. So it's all about, how we integrate order and structure and discipline. How disciplined do our lives look right now? Are they kind of a mess and all over the place and there's no boundaries, even in our schedule? Like, do we wake up and go to sleep at the same time? Or is it just like day by day, we'll decide how we feel? Now's the time to put more of those boundaries in and create more of that structure, especially when it comes to things that are no longer serving you. And a lot of times that has to do with the relationships. So to all my empaths out there that feel everybody else's emotions and therefore have a really hard time saying no to people because they don't want to feel what the other person is going to feel when that other person hears the no or hears the boundary. Now's the time to really step into that fear, to transform it, and not allow your fears to make you shy away from being assertive and putting yourself first. You must put yourself first, especially right now. It is the only way that an empath can possibly survive, one, and two, hone the gift of being able to tap into what other people are feeling. So just think about that. If there's some aspect of your life, some relationship, a person, a thing, or whatever that's no longer serving you, you gotta cut it loose. You gotta let it go. Now's the time to do that. And setting boundaries is going to be key to be able to facilitate this energy of forward action, meeting goals, staying steadfast, persevering. We need that energy that would otherwise get drained from us if we had poor boundaries. We need to reclaim that energy in order to move forward and create what we want to create. So it is about looking inward, and it is about assessing what you want out of life. What are your dreams? What are your goals? And give that some energy and think about moving slowly through this. This isn't about a race to the finish line. This is about being efficient. So even thinking about your work. So I recently received an ad from something that I was like, you know what? I actually think I could use that. It's an automated system that would do my video conferencing, my scheduling, and my payment platform all in one space. So think about automated processes that you could maybe implement in your work if you're self-employed, or maybe there's something you've been working on at your job and it would help, make a process more seamless. Now would be a great time to actually implement that. Think also too about getting ahead of your work. I've had some of this energy in the last couple of weeks actually, where for the first time in a long time, I got ahead of my work, weeks ahead of my work. That's what I mean about the automated processes. So being efficient with your time and your energy, which also has to do with these boundaries that I'm talking about, because we don't have an endless supply of energy. And we can't tend to everybody else's needs first and then expect us to be able to take care of ourselves. Self first is not selfish. It's really not. And it's the best gift that you can give yourself. And so think about really kind of like structure, like honing everything in. Very disciplined, very orderly. If your house is in disarray, if you have clothes that need to be folded, if you have whatever, dishes out on the counter, dishes in the sink, clean all of that up, because all of these items hold energy, and whatever is going on outside of us is going to get reflected inside of us and vice versa. So if we want a clean, orderly, disciplined, boundaried inner experience, which is the containment that is needed in order to fulfill our goals and be ambitious, start by doing it in your physical environment first. Don't forget also another big piece as far as the physical aspects in the symbolism. Capricorn represents teeth and skin. So take care of your skin. I was out at the beach today. I got really burnt. I didn't expect to be out there that long, and I did not think the sun was that hot or that the UV index was as high as it was. So I didn't really take care of my skin today, but I'm going to now put aloe on as soon as I'm done with this video. But take care of your teeth also. If you've been putting off dentist appointments, make them. Telling myself that also. Work with the earth. I just had an urge last week to plant a few flowers at my house. Maybe do the same. Get your hands in the dirt, plant some flowers, plant a tree, and connect into the energy and the stability of the earth, because that is where we draw this energy from. And we can turn to Mother Earth, and we can do some grounding exercises. We'll do a grounding meditation when we wrap here. Really connecting into the stability and the groundedness of the earth, Capricorn being an earth sign. So there it is. And if you use crystals, put your crystals out. Work with the Hindu deities of Chandra, the moon god, or Vishnu, or Saraswati, to really cultivate a lot of this different energy that we're looking for here. Turn to the archetypes that have been around for centuries to help you cultivate the energy that we're looking for. Is there anything else I wanted to say about that? I feel like that was a short one. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times we kind of resist the structure, and some of us just want to kind of be free birds. And I think the beauty of working with astrology and working with these many different archetypes is they all have a strength and they all have a shadow. And Capricorn has its shadow, and right now we're talking about honing its strengths. And so there really is a benefit to the discipline, to the consistency, and to using a steadfast approach to get to where you want to go. And I mean, just think about it. Like, what people in your life do you know that have just played it consistent? Think about older people, like retirement age. People that have been consistent throughout their whole lives end up in a really good, stable, solid, secure place. People that are not consistent and have highs and lows, or they go all in and then they don't have any motivation or any ambition, or they're going for the big dreams and then they have these lull periods at the end of the road. Is one more advanced than the other? Has one succeeded more in their life than the other? You could argue not necessarily. And so pacing yourself is key. Pacing yourself. We're going to do some of that with our meditation, pacing our breath, and working with the energy of the earth. So let's get into that. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to play. Hopefully this music works. I think it worked last time. So what do I want to do? Okay. Okay, so bring yourself into a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. And place your hands in the Murti Mudra. So all you're going to do is place your hands together, interlock your fingers, and have your right thumb over your left thumb, and then extend your pinky fingers so they touch. Bring that mudra and that hand position down to the bottom of your torso, right around your pelvis region, right into your lap. And this hand mudra channels the energy of steadiness, which is what we're going for. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Really stretch those lungs out. Hold. And on the exhale, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Fully relax the muscles in the face, letting the jaw swing open. Relaxing the muscles around the eyes and behind the eyeballs, letting them fall deeply into their sockets. Bring your awareness to your spiritual heart, the heart chakra, in the center of the chest. Imagine a green disc or orb in the center of your heart, swirling in a clockwise direction. Feel it grow with intensity with each passing moment until you feel your heart space open wide. Releasing here from the wounded heart what no longer serves you. The pain, the grief, the desires that wound our heart. Imagine all of those feelings leaving you now. Now move that swirling energy down through your torso into your root chakra, right around your knee area. And see the color change into a deep red as this swirling ball or orb or disc of energy anchors into the lowest energy center in the body. Watch the energy continue to swirl and grow in size and intensity. Releasing here any fears around instability, resource insecurity, fears about not having enough, or fears about not reaching your goals. Let all of that dense energy of these fears leave your body as you drive it down into the earth's core. Down through your legs and the soles of your feet, down into the ground beneath you. Send it like a ray of light through the many layers of the earth, the dirt, and the sand, and the rocks and the water, right down into the ocean of the earth's core. Let the earth take your fears away and transmute them into feelings of abundance. The feeling of already being full with everything you could possibly need. The mantra here is, even though I worry about not having enough and not achieving what I want to achieve, my soul knows I already have everything I need. Guide yourself into this energy of abundance by being grateful for what you already have and what you've already accomplished. Reminding yourself of the simple gifts that we often take for granted. Something as simple as breathing, or being able to come to a place of peace right here, right now, in this moment. Receive that energy of abundance back up from the earth's core as it moves up through the soles of your feet, up through your root chakra, until it anchors itself in the center of your chest. Opening up yourself to the energy of abundance right here with an unbridled, untethered, fully open heart. Breathing into the heart space and growing your felt sense of abundance with each inhale. Giving thanks to Mother Earth for helping you root yourself into her energy of stability and security, the foundation that is needed for perseverance in achieving your goals. Giving thanks and gratitude for the willingness of Mother Earth to take your fears and transmute them into a higher vibration. Allowing your breath to return to a pace that feels comfortable for you. And you are welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes. Wishing you all an abundant, safe, and supportive super full moon in the coming hours on July 3rd. Namaste.